In this video, we're going to go through how you create one of the charts using the Hicharts library. So Hicharts was one of the options given to you in the instructions, and if we open up their website, we get some information on Hicharts. Now Hicharts requires, if you're using this for commercial purposes, you'll need to get a license and pay for that, but it's free to use for educational and nonprofit use. So let's go and view their demo. And we can see that they have a number of really quite beautiful charts. Now with Hicharts, I've taken my file over here. If you remember the file that we used to create our table, we've got our nice root beer table here, and we can kind of see how that looks right now. At the very top of that, I've added a bunch of JavaScript that is potentially needed for various different charts. Now for Hicharts, we're going to need these modules right here, these JavaScript files, but we're not going to need any of the others. So for this file, I've called this one hicharts.html. I'm going to get rid of this one that's required for Chart.js and MD Bootstrap and Google Charts, and the ones required for our graph. Okay, so I'm just going to delete those ones. And I'm also going to uncomment the script tags. Notice that there's still a comment here that explains that these ones are Hicharts. We don't need to uncomment that one. But we will uncomment these so that your browser will download these so that they can be used. Now if we go back to the Hicharts documentation, there are line charts and there's some area charts down here. There's column and bar charts. They have some really pie charts, some really nice and beautiful charts. And we can even add combination ones. We can get really fancy with things. In this case, I just want to do a very simple chart. I'm gonna, find a bar chart that will work nicely with what I'm trying to do. So let's go over to our bar chart here. And let's just do the basic bar chart. So here's an example of the basic bar chart. This one's the world population by region. And one of the really nice things about these charts, that looks kind of nice, is we can also just edit this in JS Fiddle. And so if we do that and just open this directly in JS Fiddle, JS Fiddle is a online text editor. And so it's just kind of like our editor here, but it's completely online. So I'm going to expand this so we can see a little bit more what's going on. Here's our chart. And what we're going to do is we're going to go and edit some of this information. Now I've also logged into JS Fiddle and made an account so that I can go and save some of the things that I'm doing. So let's save this for now, and then we can go. For now, we'll leave all of this alone, and we're only going to work in the JavaScript section here. We're going to change some of the properties. So the bar chart, that's fine. That's what we want to use. Here's the title text. You'll notice that's associated over here. So I'm going to put the root beer tasting party ratings. This particular JS Fiddle, it doesn't auto-update. We have to run this in order to get it to change. The source, now in your project you'll need a source that you can link to, but my source is mine is a primary source. And then here are the categories. Categories are associated with the various different, in this case the vertical axis categories. Okay, it's marked with the x-axis because of what it is, but we're going to go and bring in those. And so I'm going to, I've already included these, and it looks like these ones have some problems. The ones that have quotes in them already, the names that have quotes, that's going to cause us some issues. And so let me go and see if I can replace this with a different character. I think this will work. So yours probably won't have this issue, but for those that have quotes in there, I'm replacing them with a character that should not cause us any problems. So let me run that and see if it's going to work. Looks like that will work and not cause us problems. Now for the title, I'm going to leave that blank because this is the x-axis title. We could put a title over here if we wanted to. We could do things like, put in the root beers if we wanted. And then the y-axis, we have this text over here that's the population. I'm actually going to type in, this is the rating out of 100. 100, there we are. And we'll leave these values. And then for a tooltip, this was what happens when you hover over it. What do we want it to say? And so I'm going to put that this is the rating. And we'll leave some of these things alone. We can change them if we want to. And now we're going to change and go to the data series. Now you notice that this bar chart has 3 different data series right here. There's one associated with well, first of all, year 1800, 1900, and 2012. Those are 3 different data series. Now, in my table, I actually already have 3 different data series, and so we'll go and add those 3 different data series to our JS fiddle here. So for this first one, why don't we start out with the maximum, and in the middle we'll do the average, and then we'll do the minimum. And I'm just going to go and quickly pause the video so I can type all of these in. All right, so I've typed all of these in. Notice that text gets surrounded by quotes and numbers do not. Okay, that's very common, similar to how we dealt with things in Access database. So I'm going to update this and run. And now we could see, oh, that's some nice views of our different root beers. Now, one thing that I don't love the fact that our legend kind of is covering up a little bit of our data. And so we can go and maybe I'll kind of shove this over just a little bit, and let's run that. Oops, that's the wrong dimension. We wanted to move this to maybe -20. Let's see what happens there. Still not quite where I wanted. We put it at 0. And let's maybe move it down a little bit. Maybe 100 was where we wanted. That's not too bad. That's not covering up any of the data now, so we can kind of see that. Or we could put it way towards the bottom. That might be a little bit better because the ratings go down a little bit as we go. So maybe I'll drop this in and we'll say 350. Wonder where that'll put it. Oh, much too far. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, so we've got this. We could change our colors as well. We can go up here, and we could fuss with the various different colors. We're using the defaults right now. Everything looks pretty good. If we want to change different settings, we could do that. So here's now what we're going to do. We're going to take this and we're going to transform it into what will work in our file. So, oops. So like I've already told you, this little section here, this Hicharts code, is what we've already put in here in our head tag. So I've already created that for you. Now we are going to need right here this div. We're going to need to put it wherever we want our table to be, or our chart to be. So after our table, I'm going to put, let me put a blank paragraph in here, and then below that, I'm going to put this nice little div in here. Now it doesn't have any information in it, but we're going to use this div with the ID container in order to make our file work. Now down here we have our JavaScript. I'm going to highlight all of the JavaScript we have here, and there's a section in our file that says add any modified JavaScript here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to paste that in here and save my file, and let's go and see if it works. All right, open open it in Chrome. And look at that. We've got our nice little chart available to us, and it looks like it's working just fine. And so there is how we're going to use Hicharts, or at least one of the options. You could use any of those other options and modify the data in order to make our chart.